Do you believe in a god, Nathan? Because now would be a good time to pray to him. For what we are about to do is very ungodly. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 of The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody, an exclusive Nerdthusiast channel where we bring to you the weirdest, baddest, and bloodiest movies from your favorite decades, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. Because let me tell you, there were a lot of those in each decade.
Some say too many. I would say not enough.
And today we're bringing to you a specific 90s movie. Would you say decade-defining 90s movie?
This is a 90s decade-defining movie. This is 94, right?
1994.
1994.
Street Fighter the movie.
Were you born yet?
No.
I was. I had just appeared on scene.
Little 1-year-old you went to the movies.
I'm not even one yet.
Not even one?
Yeah, no.
What were you, December?
Today
we're doing Street Fighter the movie from 1994. Now, we're going to come right off the bat and say, no, neither of us really play Street Fighter.
The times I played Street Fighter were at like arcades. The arcade cabinet Street Fighters.
Yeah.
You remember those, right? But I also...
If I was allowed to go to arcades.
Yeah, so those are what I remember growing up. Now, I would rather have played Jurassic Park.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I played that at Chuck E. Cheese quite a bit.
So there were other arcade cabinets we both preferred, but we do remember Street Fighter arcade cabinet.
Just a little bit. I knew of the characters, but this movie is really the most exposure I've had to Street Fighter itself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's ironic considering there's really no street fighting in this movie.
There's like 1 or 2 fights in the street. For a movie called Street Fighter, it's remarkably arena based.
You know what I miss? I do miss movies that did this where they had this title, the movie, at the end of it.
Street Fighter, the movie.
Tom and Jerry, the movie. You don't do that anymore. I mean, they did kind of do that recently with the Garfield movie.
The Garfield movie. The Star Wars.
But there was something... Star Wars, the movie.
The Star Wars.
The Rogue One, a Star Wars story, the movie.
The movie. We need
Dahmer Monster, the Dahmer Monster Dahmer story. Street Fighter is a movie adaptation of the video game series in the loosest of senses.
This is specifically, it says, and I do want to say this, we can kind of go into this a little bit. It opens with saying it's specifically based on Street Fighter 2. Do you remember that?
No.
It says based on the video game the characters.
Well, I don't remember Street Fighter 2.
Well, it says that it is. That movie opens. It says it's based on Street Fighter 2. I don't know what was going on with Street Fighter 1, but I guess they decided Street Fighter 2. Maybe Street Fighter 2 had more of the characters. I looked up the characters that are in this as compared to Street Fighter, and like there's a lot of them. And it's really funny that like people end up becoming characters in this movie that I just thought they were like side things. And then they were like, oh, that's actually like a character in Street Fighter.
I am now this.
Yeah. It was like, wait a minute.
He's like, now I look like Dalsim. No, you still don't, but apparently you are now.
Dalsim?
Yeah,
Dalsim.
Blanca turns into fucking Neanderthal. I don't know, man. Like in name only kind of adaptation. They were doing a lot of these in like the 80s and 90s, especially with like we just talked about Masters of the Universe, where they took IP and just made something really like loose, but almost kind of like dreary and bleak out of it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean? I don't know. I'm pretty sure most fans, like I don't know any fans of this, but like they would probably say a lot of this movie's miscast, except for one. We'll get to him.
Okay.
But now we categorize this as bad on our spin wheel of choice.
Yeah. So our initial thought right now is bad. This is labeled initial rating as bad.
Yes, because
we'll get to the end and we'll see about what we
because this was panned when it came out. This is still considered to be like one of the weirdest, worst movies ever. It's just like as a video game adaptation, it's just it pales in comparison to stuff now.
Are there any like good adaptations of video games at the time? And I do want to say I appreciate how people are just like, again, we've talked about this. They're just letting people be weird with it. They're doing weird, movies based upon the video game without any like oversight of like some greater, for a better word, MCU.
This is still,
no quality control. It's literally just whatever you want to do, Wild West.
It's because, you know why? Cocaine. Van Damme has gone on record saying he was coked as fuck on this movie.
In this movie?
Yeah.
Oh my
like
God.
he was doing coke on this movie. And
Well,
whatnot.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
But this is still from an era where they, like, we even talked about this in our previous review of Killer Clowns, where they didn't test the waters by dipping a pinky in. You know, they just kind of threw rocks.
They just did it.
They took chances. They really did.
And we need the movies.
But that means not everything worked. You know, that doesn't guarantee like something good every time.
I say it's 1 of every 5, 2 for 10 is the thing. Basically, if you're getting an adaptation of like a comic book or like a movie or like a video game or something like that into a movie, or action toys, you know, whatever like that, for every 5, 1 is really good.
1 is actually pretty good because
the rest
in terms
are
of
bad.
Well, video game movies, what did
The Mario
we had
Brothers,
the Super Mario Brothers movie
movie
right before this, and that was like, we should do that with
John Leguizamo and John Goodman, right?
And no, Bob Hoskins.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Bob Hoskins is Mario, and John Leguizamo is Luigi Mario. That was
Luigi
a year
Mario.
before this, and that's a whole nother beast on its own.
Yeah,
still fun to talk about this one, and then a year later, I think Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
when it came out in 95, I think it was kind of regarded as not bad, probably by comparison to these that came before it. I think that's why that one still kind of holds up as like, as a lot of people say, as video game adaptations go, even for back then, that wasn't that terrible. That was all right. You know?
Yeah.
And I personally have a soft spot for that one. It's like a crummier Enter the Dragon, honestly. But like, and I did not grow up playing fighting games. I really don't have a horse in this race. But like, it at least we can watch the movies and as movie buffs look at these and go, wow, this was such a different time.
It is,
because now we're in an era where they rebooted Super Mario Brothers as an animated movie, and it killed it. And it's not a bad movie either.
Yeah,
it's like they kind of figured their shit out. But when video games back then had such a different scale to them, and they tried taking different risks, the results were all over the place. Yeah, whereas today, There's
quality control. There's oversight.
There's so much condensed now, and it's kind of ironic because video games today are so much more broad. Yeah, you know, like the scope of them, and like, you know, and so much that goes into them, the thought, the effort, the creativity, and then when film adaptations of them come around, they play it safe every time. It seems like.
Yeah, they're not going to risk that.
Not with this one. We need to talk about
Event Horizon.
No,
go ahead. Sorry.
Shut up.
Go ahead.
We need to talk about his career in the 90s because this is when he was at his peak.
Okay.
You know, he was so big as an action star at the moment, thanks to stuff like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Double Impact. The fact that he is now cast as Guile in a Street Fighter movie, it's like, why? He's freaking European as hell.
So Nick's forte is action movies. So you're saying at this point, Van Damme is like a household name. He's known. He's at the top of his career of martial arts movies.
Of these action, one-man hero action movies. Because right before this, he had Hard Target.
Okay.
A personal favorite of mine. But then he comes out with this. And after that, I don't think he ever really recovers. I personally like Sudden Death a lot, but if you look at anything past Sudden Death, it's kind of like forgotten in terms of his career, you know? Like that's when it started slipping.
So this is like the beginning of the end?
Yes, if I could say that.
Street Fighter is the beginning of the end for Van Damme?
Well, I mean, does that not make sense? When you really say that out loud?
I guess in context of everything, yeah.
Like he's all charming in it and everything. He's doing his Van Damme shtick and whatnot. He's basically just playing himself like he would be. Like he's just, I'm Van Damme from basically any other Van Damme movie. I happen to be this character in a Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
Let's just take the action hero, put him in this movie, and call him this.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's based off a video game character. You know?
I want to talk about Ryu and Ken.
Ken and Ryu.
Ken, is it Ryu or Ryu?
I think it's Ryu.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong.
I'm gonna get fucking blasted if I say that wrong. I just want to say
I'll take that smoke too. Don't worry.
Well, it's fine. I have never met two people who do not look like they do martial arts at all that are in their costumes. I was like, this is just some fucking asshole cosplaying.
These do. And they're not even like, all these characters are very like loose adaptations of the characters from the game. Ken and Ryu, I don't know what they are from the game, but I don't think they're like hustlers or anything, you know?
No. They're like some of the main fucking people I thought in the game. It is. So you got Damien Chapa as Ken. Do you know who that is at all?
He's in Under Siege.
Yes.
I just know him from Under Siege.
I looked that up. And we got Byron Mann as Ryu. But there's really one person I want to talk about. You want to talk about Van Damme. I want to talk about the fact that, and I do mean this, if we're going to talk about somebody whose career has not even fucking begun yet, it's Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue?
I thought it was Kylie Minogue. Is it Minogue or Minogue?
I think it's Minogue.
Okay, Minogue, whatever. La, la, la. Kylie Minogue is going to go on to be like arguably pop queen of the early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
I like this is not even fucking around. She has like, have you seen her like performance at like the Britpop Awards in like 2002? This fucking performance is amazing. Like, it is regarded as probably one of the best performances of all time. So she's in this movie, 94, she's Australian. She had like 1 or 2 albums at the time, and she hasn't even begun. She hasn't even begun to like start her career. And the thing is, she plays this role that's like entirely forgettable in this.
Oh yeah.
She's so forgettable.
It's
like this character sucks.
It's like after the fact, you realize like, wait, that's her?
Yeah, that's Kylie Minogue.
One of my personal favorites, Ming-Na Wen is in this.
Yes.
As Chun-Li.
Chun-Li, who you don't actually realize is Chun-Li
until Bison makes her wear the outfit.
Bison makes her wear the outfit. You're like, this is just some news anchor that
happens to just kick ass.
Yeah.
And is she a spy or something?
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's Chun-Li.
Oh, that's Chun-Li.
Oh, that's Chun-Li.
I did
put the hair like you do.
But she was gorgeous in this.
Yeah.
She still is today.
Yeah,
I love Ming-Na Wen. She's been in some of my favorite stuff. I absolutely love Mulan. And she's been great in the Star Wars universe, honestly.
What does she play in the Star Wars universe?
She is, what is her name? Fennec Shand, and she pops up in The Mandalorian, and then she becomes a regular in the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, I don't watch any of that.
Very, very, very smart casting. Like Ming-Na Wen just needs to do more action movies. Like, really? Just give her, like, that career resurgence of, like, make her an action star again.
We need a direct sequel to this movie. We're going to call for a direct sequel again to Street Fighter. Van Damme, Kylie Minogue returns. Fucking, why?
I don't think anyone wants to do it. No one's going to want to do it.
No, enough time has passed. No. It's been 30 years.
Well, they're rebooting it. They're not rebooting it. They're doing another film adaptation of Street Fighter. And you know who they had originally slated to direct it?
Who?
The fucking guys who made Talk to Me.
Really?
Yeah. Originally, they are no longer
the Philippi brothers.
They are no longer attached to it now.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, but it's slated for like 2025 or 2026 release or something.
Oh, come on, boys. Let's see what Street Fighter looks like.
No, I don't know, man. But
I really hope Kylie Minogue comes back. I do.
Or at least does like the theme song for a soundtrack.
Just like sings through the thing again. That'd be fucking sick.
Like my Kylie Minogue, I got nothing against her. I just don't really care for.
Fine.
Can't get you out of my head.
Fine. Fair enough.
But we got. Unless there's anybody else you want to talk about, we got to talk about him.
Who?
You know who?
For you, The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Raul Julia in this movie, God bless him.
Now, who does he? He's M. Bison.
He is M. Bison. He's the villain. He's like, the plot of this movie is weird because like he's a warlord, dictator of some sort. He's taken over this island and he has a bunch of hostages, and Guile and all these other characters end up kind of like crashing into each other, having their own agendas, and all end up having to work together to like go infiltrate this island to go save the hostages.
Well,
essentially.
because despite him being a ruthless dictator, he's also into circuses.
Yeah. He's also a showman.
He's also,
whatnot.
I always like, Barnum and Bailey could take notes on this fucking asshole.
And he commits to it like he is in a Holocaust movie.
Yeah, oh God.
Like I'm sorry to make that comparison,
in
but
the
like
worst ways
but
possible,
it's just,
but also I can't believe he did
it's
it.
an art form. This is performance he's giving. It's like you watch him as Gomez Adams, you watch him in other things, and he never ever throughout this gives any indication that he is not giving 110%. Like he absolutely is crushing it, almost to the point of where this is an actual full-fledged Shakespearean dramatic performance. But at the same time, it's such an art form of its own because you can tell he's having the time of his life. He is enjoying the shit out of himself. Like it's kind of what Topper was trying to do in Super Mario Brothers, but even then that material he was given was like he could only do so much. No disrespect to Dennis Hopper, RIP to him as well, but he's just awkward as King Koopa in that, you know what I mean? He's just kind of funny, awkward, but Raul Julia in this, he's just like, he steals the entire movie.
He's at least top sirloin in a chopped cheese movie.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He's
not quite top, like we're not talking like prime rib or like, you know, like filet mignon, anything, but he is at least a nice steak you would enjoy.
You'd remember this steak.
Yes, yeah.
You will remember this steak because he's the most memorable thing in the movie.
It's like getting a good top sirloin at like a Denny's and you're like, what? How did this happen? Well, who the fuck's back there?
This was his last movie. He died of a stroke.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, like right after he was done filming this movie, like the same year this movie came out, he was like actually like fighting stomach cancer at the time too.
Oh no.
And so
man,
he and just the sweetest thing is that he did the movie because his kids loved the games.
Yep.
That's why he did the movie.
Man, there's so many stories about that. I mean, we talked about Sarah Michelle Gellar doing the Call of the Dead thing because her kids were like super into Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And they were like, we love the zombies. You gotta do that.
Did you know Donald Pleasance did Halloween because his daughter was a huge fan of Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So essentially just getting good with the kids.
Yeah,
then
dude,
the parents
a lot of them do it for their kids, but Raul Julia, like, oh, bless him for this movie. He if it wasn't for him, this would be lost to time. Like no one would give an actual flying fuck about this movie because what he did for it and why he did it is memorable, and himself in it, he's extremely dynamic to the point of like you wholeheartedly believe he believes in this project. Do you agree? Like, what do you? He's amazing in this piece of shit.
Yeah, he's memorable. He's definitely the thing that like when I was because and I want to be clear, Nick, had you seen this before?
Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't. I had not watched this before. I had only seen clips of this movie. So
that makes me happy.
It's on Netflix right now. So I sat down, got a glass of wine, and was like, okay, let's watch this. And maybe poured one or two more glasses while I was watching it. But the times I really paid attention is whenever M. Bison was on the scene.
Yes,
he's really it. Peter Navy, Tuiasosopo. Yeah, it's like I liked his performance too. I think he was funny, and I thought he was kind of like a fun character actor to have as well. I mean,
people do look.
Grand L. Bush is Balrog too, just a boxer dude. That's just like he just kind of is a boxer all of a sudden. Like there's some fun character actors, but Raul Julia just going for it and like 100% just giving like a dynamic performance, not a character actor, trying to make this M. Bison character well-rounded.
He's the star.
It does stand out. It stands out.
He's straight up the star. He's just like, it's kind of like how Michael Caine approached the Muppet Christmas Carol. He's just like, I'm going to act like this is like the most dramatic retelling of the story and whatnot.
Oh my God.
It's just like, nobody around me is a Muppet. I'm going to take it completely seriously.
You fucking Muppet.
You fucking Muppet.
You fucking Muppet.
Master Wayne. I don't want to call it a shame that this might be the thing he's most remembered for. Although I do think it's Addams Family.
I think it's Addams Family.
Yeah, but it's and again in Addams Family, he's just got that same like weightless, wonderful energy to him. You know, he's irresistible to watch.
Yep.
Like for anything, watch this movie for him.
For Raul Julia.
Because he's it's a performance absolutely worth seeing.
What about the director?
Directed and written by Stephen E. D'Souza.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
and tell me.
Well, he didn't really direct much after this.
Okay.
But he did write quite a bit before this.
Okay.
A couple of known movies, such as 48 Hours.
Okay.
Commando.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Running Man.
All right.
Another little movie that kind of just faded called Die Hard. Die Hard 2.
No one remembers that.
This man is credited as a screenwriter on a bunch of these well-known, beloved action movies from the 80s. He had a hand in writing Judge Dredd.
Really?
Wow. The Stallone one, not the actual comic.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then this kind of like took a wrecking ball to his career, honestly, because he wrote and directed this.
So he failed all on his own.
Unfortunately is what you could call it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this movie.
Okay.
Is I have met people, interesting people. I have met people.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Swear up and down that this is like one of the greatest movies ever made because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because of its ridiculousness. Because of its ridiculousness. It was like Rob Dyrdek just, doing this.
Yeah, I'm fun.
Yeah, you ever go to...
I don't know why I talk about Rob Dyrdek like that.
Do you ever go to a hotel room and you just like, oh, I have cable again. So you turn on the TV.
And it's ridiculous.
And it's MTV. And on MTV, it's just ridiculousness. They just like...
Well, listen,
put it on a repeat
after Jersey Shore. After Jersey Shore faded, they didn't really have much left. Really? After Jersey Shore ended, I feel like MTV just was like trying to recreate
that and Catfish. That's it. It's like that's it now.
How does the girl Chanel West Coast? She like laughs.
It's like. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Chill, please.
Rob Dyrdek. What is he? He's. I'm sorry, we're shitting on Rob Dyrdek.
Why are we shitting on Rob Dyrdek right now?
I don't know because I said ridiculousness.
Remember when Rob Dyrdek used to be a fucking skateboarder?
Remember Robin Big?
Remember Robin Big? Where
yeah,
that was actually interesting to watch. Then it was Fantasy Factory, and it was like okay, and then he got into ridiculousness, and you're like, what is happening? Do you even skateboard anymore?
Do you like? Can you show us anything? Like you don't put on a show. You're just a host, and he does. This all the time.
Well, man, you want more clips?
All right, welcome back.
We're getting more clips. Let's do that.
And he dresses like he's got to be.
Show me that, man.
Like, what is he, 40-something now? He still dresses like he's 23.
Hey, DC keeps him fitted. DC, I think, is his sponsor.
I'll give you that. Sure.
It's if it's not DC, it's Volcom or Famous Stars and Straps or whatever stupid. I used to wear skater attire. My friends were skaters, and I was a poser with that. It's okay. I moved into something else not too long after that. More punk shit.
Matthew Lillard's just gonna punch you in the face right now.
Fucking poser.
You fucking poser.
Fucking poser. Okay, enough of Rob Dyrdek.
I'm sorry, but the people. This movie has kind of a beloved following to it because of how bad it is, because of how it's just one of the best bad movies ever. That's how it's regarded.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can see that because you're just kind of like, it's one of those movies where it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You cannot look away for some reason, even though you can see everybody inside destroyed, you know? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
It's so ridiculous. It's like none of this makes any sense. Everything is so stupid. Everything is a cartoon. It really does kind of remind me of Masters of the Universe, where it's just like, this feels like a toy commercial. This feels like you base this off of toys, not a video game.
Yeah.
This pairs well with something like Batman and Robin, you know?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Batman and Robin. One of our favorite actors on the podcast. One day, maybe I can get him on. Miguel A. Nunez Jr. is in this, and we love him. He is Voodoo Priest from Scooby-Doo, Spider from Return of the Living Dead. What's his name in Friday?
I was about to ask you, I forget his name. Demon?
Yeah, I think Demon.
Yeah.
Eats the enchiladas again. He
should have been the hero of that one.
He is in so many fucking horror movies, and he's in this movie as M. Bison's like right hand audiovisual technician. He just pushes,
he knows what he's in.
Yeah, he pushes buttons.
Yeah,
that's his job. Does he do anything else? He doesn't even get into a fight.
I don't think a whole lot of people even get into fights in this.
There's remarkably very few fights.
There's remarkably
for a movie called Street Fighter
of plot and not a whole lot of fights in a movie called Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of streets in it either.
A lot of dirt roads.
They're on an island for a lot of the movie.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of boats.
There's a lot of tropical islands.
A lot of boats as well. Let's see, Boat Fighter doesn't flow so well.
There's a bit that Nostalgia Critic would always do in a lot of his early videos where he would take the clip of Raul Julia from Street Fighter. He'd be reviewing a movie. There would be something like really obvious in the movie. He'd make a joke out of it by just cutting to Raul Julia, just going, "Of course!" You know? Guile, alive? Of course! And then he just fucking Wes Studi as, what is he, Sagat? And he's just like, "I guess you didn't see that, did you?" It was just like vocally commanding the entire room.
Yeah.
All eyes on him.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely superbly putting some sort of magic in the material he's given, but also just like, he knows exactly what the fuck this garbage is,
He knows it.
But you can tell for some reason, you believe he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves what he's doing. And I guess you didn't see that, did you? Like, how the fuck do you not laugh at that?
It's these again, everyone's a cartoon. We talked about it. Everyone's a cartoon.
Everyone's either a cartoon or kind of just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Nick, let's talk about our awards.
Oh,
we
really?
always have to give this movie an awards. If you missed it, we give the movie kind of a Razzie award.
Yeah.
Everyone we do gets an award. Now, I thought of a few watching this that I was just like, weirdest. Now, there's a couple that we could talk about that I'm not going to go into, like weirdest gun bazaar ever.
Yeah.
Weirdest outdoor gun market ever. It's a fucking circus.
All right.
But the one I really want to give, and I only because I feel like we're recording a different episode for our other show today, second most egregious Godzilla reference ever.
Okay.
Because the first one is in Lost World. It's Honda and I think the guy that plays Blanca, right?
Yeah.
Just like throwing each other around like the model of the small city that is on the floor in a room in M. Bison's hideout that I'm not really... What was that room for?
Well, he wanted to build his own Bisonopolis.
Oh, yeah. It was like a model of his own city.
Yeah.
Then they're just throwing each other around, and I think you hear Godzilla roaring. I don't think they can play the actual music. They didn't get the rights for that, but they do play the like the screech roar like constantly. And I was like, all right.
That would be mimicked in Crank 2, by the way.
Yep. All right. What about your award?
Well, the fact that you mentioned Bisonopolis leads me to mine is like best fake currency in a movie ever. For them big beautiful bison dollars that he plans to use once he builds Bisonopolis.
Yeah. Throw one of those on screen right now as I make this sound. Cha-ching! Look at that.
Why do they call me a madman?
Oh, I do have another one. I forgot. There's another award I forgot.
A second award.
This is stupid. I got to give this to worst handcuffs ever. Remember when he has he ties up Chun-Li, but her hands are like very loosely tied together with seems like with tape. And also her feet aren't bound. She can still kick your ass. Like it's not like she is only like a boxer where she swings with her hands. She is very capable of kicking you to death only with her feet. And she just decides to break her handcuffs that look like they're made out of streamer or something. She just like snaps him and she's like, "Oh, I'm out now. You're fucked." And starts beating his ass.
Yeah, they look like Party City.
Yeah, starts beating his ass. And I'm like, what? Were you trying to stop her escaping?
I love Guile's speech.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison will not. It just is a testament to Van Damme's inability to have any kind of accent other than his own. And it's just
he is Van Damme.
And it's the best speech. It's just like his speech is hilarious because he rallies literally everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Street Fighter.
We're gonna go. Let's go. Get on the boats. Let's go. Did we even have a plan? I don't know.
We are gonna fight him in the street. But we don't. What is this? You're gonna fight him in the street like some kind of street fighter?
Shut up.
Say the name of the movie.
Say the
name. Oh my God.
Oh my, that's mine. I love that part every time.
I do. I agree with that. I think the other scenes that really stand out, I just like, why are they in a circus? Why is he holding a circus?
Why not?
M. Bison is like, it's like,
if he wasn't,
it's like an arms deal, right?
If he wasn't, bro, like it would not fit the movie.
Oh no,
because this whole movie is just it's just a big fucking clown. He like walking around, like doing tricks for us. The tricks might not be that great, but what he's doing is still entertaining. You know,
he's holding some kind of like outdoor gun market, weapons market. It's a weapons deal at like a Barnum and Bailey show. Like I mean this, like it fucking threw me for a loop the first time I saw it. I go, wait, this is also a circus? And the guy's like, see this? Decommissioned Cuban missile. See this? And I was like, is that a nuclear is that a nuclear warhead next to an elephant that's being abused? What?
Can you imagine a Dumbo crossover?
Yeah, God.
Where it's like they're singing Baby Mine and it's just like they're selling weapons right next to them
with
or something.
An Apache helicopter or something. Yeah. I'll shoot down that freak Dumbo. Hand me the RPG.
You're doing it, Dumbo. You can fly. Shoot it down.
Black Hawk Down. Okay.
What we originally classified this is as bad. Like on our spin wheel of choice, it was the bad one.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a good movie. No, by no means.
This is not good. I can't sit here and say it doesn't deserve at least partially of the bad title, but I feel like...
You know what it's more deserving of?
Weird.
It's weird.
This is weird.
This is so weird, and we're going to...
Bizarre.
We're going to give it that because we actually do recommend checking this out. Because if we call something bad, you know, you're just like, you're only so inclined to maybe check it out.
Yeah.
But this is so much weirder than I can call it actually like this is bad. You know, what I'm seeing is bad.
I agree with you.
Because it's just all the decisions they made, the way everybody's acting and the pacing of the movie itself, like how much plot is just piled onto it. Just like they just kind of like, it's like everything stuck when they threw it to the wall.
Might as well keep it all.
But then the wall started bleeding. Yeah.
I have the laptop here with me. We're actually shooting at a different place.
Okay, the gimmick of this show is that we have 2 spin wheels of choice. The first one has 3 categories, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We spin that, and whichever one it lands on, we then spin a second wheel. The second wheel has movies from that decade. But one is categorized as bad, one is categorized as weird, and you guessed it, the other is categorized as bloody. And then we review said movie that it lands on, determining whether it is deserving of its original given title.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, could you do the honors of spinning the first wheel to see which decade we get for next episode?
All right, here we go. Let's go.
Spinning. What do we get? What are we getting?
We got the 90s again. We're back,
90s again?
We're back to the 90s. We're the 90s. We're staying right where we are,
I'm
boys
sorry,
and girls.
but if they remade Back to the Future, would he go to the 90s?
It's a dark question right there. It's a dark question for all of us. All right, we got our 3 choices for movies. Here we go. What are we reviewing next? Lord. Okay. Yeah. We're going straight to the Wild Wild West. It's me with Artemis Clyde Frog, Save Selma Hayek.
Thank you so much again for watching us on The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody. We love having you, and we love talking about weird, bad, and bloody movies from all our favorite decades.
And if you like us and what we do, be sure to check us out on our other podcast, 1.5 White Guys, which you can find below.
And if you'd like to see more of The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody, you can check us out exclusively here on the Nerdthusiast YouTube channel.
Exclusively.
Nathan, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what they should do? Release this on a Tuesday.